Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Bow. No, I'm just messing around. Good morning. We are back once more. And I see that I am basically just where I left off, for better or worse. Right in the middle of the AV. Stuck on time 2. I need to continue on my grind here. So much. No, I don't know if it's so much. Still more AV to do. Stock up on some arrows. See about kicking some ass. Or I'm not even sure it's kicking ass for my part. But pitching in. Trying it out. So I need 60k. 60k armor. Definitely doable. Probably most of the case if I manage today, if I feel like it, but let's see. Let's kick the tires and light the fires. It's Friday. Congrats on Friday. You know? Very few things beat Friday, don't they? I mean, it's just a highlight of the week. Maybe it's almost too early in the day. There's actually not a lot of AVs popping. Let's see. Gives me an opportunity to make it to the mailbox and back again, I guess. we go. Sound is on. Guess I have a chance to check in with headquarters. So how's everyone doing? How is everybody doing? I'm trying to find the right positioning for all of this here. You know, all these little tweaks in terms of microphone placement and whatnot. I hope it's okay. Otherwise, you'll have to let me know. I haven't even checked if the sound's working. I think it's working. Yep. Oh well. I clocked in a number of hours the other day. You know, I did I made 50k on her, and I think I spent, let's see, Wednesday, right, from 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, so roughly 8 hours. And it didn't feel super smooth. It was clunky, forced, you know, ineffective in some manner, but halfway for the week's progression, and it is effectively only Friday, so there's still plenty of time. Should be more than doable. And this is still one of the weeks in which it's, you know, fairly low amount of honor needed, so it's important to remember that, you know, look for the towards the small victory that it is, right? Every little bit counts. Wonder where my pet went. Where did my pet go? Why would it just disappear like that? See if I can grab a little bit of mana. Let's go. Sometimes the worst thing about being the last one out of the cave is that you end up being the target. Right when the alliance start creeping in from the rear. Rush north. Go. You see them rushing north. Sometimes I can appreciate... No, let's start somewhere else. I've been disputing very much if I wanted to actively pursue getting the epic mount. I still do. You can say so far the time I've had available and wanted to invest haven't gone towards making, gold farm or something to get gold. When you do an AV, you recognize the luxury of having it, but at the same time, once the whole AV aspect is over, there's of course going to be AB and so on, but still it's not sure where I am on that standpoint in terms of long term. Oops. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ouch. Being the center of attention isn't always a nice thing. Sometimes the healers are on point. Sometimes the healers are really not on point. Where'd my pep? There. At least somebody's taking the other tower. Let's go help them out. We got all of them. Nope, we didn't get all of them, not yet. I was after dropping off my daughter at school. I was listening to the radio on the way home. You know, it's a 5 minute drive, and I was listening to a station that only actually broadcasts rock music. And there was a newer song came on the radio that had sort of a resemblance of a song from my youth, I think you can say. And it's sort of stuck with me now. And the song is from 1994, quite a few days ago. But it's funny sometimes that it can trigger something, you know, that just seems so familiar. Yeah. So all of a sudden I've got this, 30-year-old song on my mind. Just because of one simple little passage that seemed familiar. Let's see if it's about time. Go, go, go. The lack of organization here is horrendous. Generally, it really is. It really is so horrible. I haven't bothered to install the timers for the different graveyards. I guess I could, but I really don't feel like it's not important enough for me, so to say. I can't be asked. Maybe that's the question. Okay, we're going in 40 seconds. Morning, man. How's it going? Happy Friday. Actually, you know, I think War Chief is maybe a bit over ambitious, isn't it? Right now, I don't really feel like a War Chief in the sense of PvP progression. I don't really feel the need to identify with it either necessarily, but yeah, it's going good, man. It's Friday. That will help. Always helps. And you know, coffee and gaming. What's not to like? Let's see how far I can be asked to push. Okay, they pulled. I'm not sure it was intentional, but they pulled. Thanks, Mammon. I'll have to check it out. See if we can keep an eye on when they start coming back. All the ads. Vindictive Cloakroom. Thank you for stopping by. At the least you can do if you're gonna stop by and open up with a sales pitch is drop a follow just for the hell of it. You know, I think that'll get you an extra point in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. I think basically the it wasn't that long ago. It was like during winter, November, December, just before the server opened. I made an Instagram account with the purpose of maybe, you know, advertising the stream as well. And I open it up, you know, create the account, get it set up, log on. And I, you know, haven't used it ever whatsoever before. I start off by making like a random post to test it out. And following that, I get like a DM from the first bot already. Basically, it's like, okay, I've been here for, you know, I don't know, 4 minutes. I haven't interacted with anyone specific, but you know, they're already here. I was like, I was impressed by the effectiveness, incredibly enough. Let's see if we can. Where is somewhere beneficial? Maybe up here. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah. Bots and salesmen, don't leave your home without them. They will be there with you. Yep. Anywho, at least the coffee's, you know, the coffee's good on a morning, and you know, it's actually looking to be a bright and sunny day outside here. You know, last week it was just around 0 degrees Celsius, and yesterday it was 16 degrees, supposedly 16-ish degrees again today. And then next week it's back to like 1 degree. Talk about inconsistent weather, that's for sure. It is, I mean, you know, it's much more, I would almost use the word volatile than normal. It's insane, really. It feels insane in that sense, that really does. That's anywho, let's see here. 56, 57, 57k to go. It might be doable today, you know, if things go decently enough. If I can be asked, let's see. I really am not in a hurry, so I figure I will squeeze it out as it goes, but yeah. I ended up having a I was sitting at work yesterday. It was there was like 10, 15 minutes before I was heading out the door. I didn't really want to start up a new assignment per se, so I was just kind of in my own head. I ended up having an, a discussion with Chat GPT on how far I should go rank wise for my hunter in terms of PvP. I'm pretty sure it was completely silly, but it was kind of fun to get Chat GPT to like give pros and cons. So I started off, building up a scenario, going, okay, if I'm a casual, if I don't have a lot of time, if I have to combine it with work, family, how far should I push? Yeah. It's funny how deep the rabbit hole can get sometimes. Yeah, exactly. I've done the same. I feel that I also end up oftentimes just defaulting to GPT and just getting. Sometimes you can't. It's not worth the digital paper it's printed on. But sometimes it brings some interesting nuances, or it brings some maybe some alternative angles on something. So I find that from that sense, there's a lot of there's a lot of positive notes, and you can, as time progresses and you get better at giving some good accurate prompts, you can also get some very good feedback, like inspiration, other things like that. So I think that's nice. Oh well. Hey, good morning. I'm still working on the pronunciation. Lagitaya? No, that doesn't sound Finnish enough, I'm sorry. I'll have to work on my Finnish accent. Lagitaya. Sounds a little bit more, in my opinion, if I have to say so. Completely subjective. The Danish language is, it seems fairly um the Danish language seems fairly clunky compared to some of the other Nordic countries, I feel. In my opinion, the especially the Finnish has a very fluent level to it, right? Swedish also sort of rhythmic. Norwegian and Danish feels a bit more choppy. Very like there's a lot of there's a lot of hard, they call it, hard consonants, that the manner in which you pronounce it is a bit more like choppy. Anyway, I figured I would start off the morning seeing how far I can be asked to push in terms of AV progression. I'm still early days. I don't need more than 55k more, so I'm halfway for the week, so it's not a big deal. But Wednesday, I spent most of Wednesday, about 8 hours pushing, and it didn't feel smooth. Yeah, I can follow you. Yeah, there's a lot of different, but it's also, if you look across Europe, you can really see the presence of cultures impact on each other in the sense of how often there are words that that are resemblant, across so many different languages. So you can have words that are, you can see, okay, basically something that has been incorporated directly from English or been translated, to fit something nationally. But yeah, so the other day, Wednesday, it felt clunky, fair enough. I did make 50K, and then I've made about 5 today, so about halfway. It's still an early week in the sense of progression needed. So let's see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how far I'm gonna want to push it, but cries in Dutch. Yeah, okay. Let's see. But I figured I'd start them off the morning with some AV. If nothing else, the concept of being able to do AV from the get go, doesn't require too much brain capacity. So not really feeling completely awake yet. You can sort of you can grind out your coffee and you can grind out your AV, and then later on, depending on how things look, we can always look to do something else. And it's Friday, so happy Friday. That's gotta bring an uplifting spirit to most things. Not that we actually don't have a lot of busy plans, but still, we have theater tickets for tomorrow. I think maybe it's actually like a musical. Taking all the kids to see a musical. It was part of a Christmas present that they got, which was seeing the enactment of Sound of Music, which is in town at the moment. So hopefully they enjoy that. And then Sunday, I think it's basically trying to catch up on a bit more packing. Get some more boxes shoved in behind me here, just for the hell of it. It's less than a month now until we get the keys to the house, and then we have about 4 weeks before we move in. And during those 4 weeks, we do have to, paint 250 square meters, walls and ceilings, probably twice. Erect a wall, knock down another wall, lay some flooring, and yeah, something along those lines. So we kind of are concerned too about having enough time, so we're trying to do as much as we can here around the house now, while time is something we have, so that we don't have to start packing here as well during the month of April, when we really should be out there at the new place. So it's a delicate balance, trying to mix and match. At the same time, we talked about, okay, we're basically living here a full month before we move, so it's not really beneficial to take down all the lamps and stuff like that, because you'll end up basically not having any light or anything. So I think we have to, my wife is impatient when it comes to that, but it's sort of a case of this doesn't necessarily work if we just live in a completely empty home for the past month. So really trying to identify the bare necessities. What do we need? What is a need to? What is nice to? You can say even though it is we have a lot of closets that are all IKEA, and even though it is IKEA, taking them apart still takes some time, because there's quite a lot of them. So you have to take that into account as well. Just managing, say, okay, how long it's going to take you to disassemble 5-10 IKEA closets. It's quicker than putting them together, but still. let's see if we're about ready. They're talking about it. Come on, come on. Nope. Oh well. Coordination efforts being done. Come on. Let's see here. Okay, let's go. Let's go. If it isn't now, then it will never be. Okay, somebody else is canning anyway. I'll go inside and see if I can pitch in. Not too bad. Decent enough attempt. Going better than this morning than it has. No, actually that's not true. On Wednesday, the first several games in the morning were actually the most successful as well. So that was actually true. Morning was better. It was, as the day progressed, it kind of went worse and worse actually. So keep the progression rolling for now. Ba-da-da-da-da. Anywho, see what's going here. So, doesn't anybody have any interesting plans this weekend? Gotta be somebody who has something more interesting than what I do. I can live vicariously through you. I don't feel like my plans are interesting per se, so it's more a case of it's just, stuff happening. Sometimes it's just stuff happening. And they're off. Literally watching the ice melt from the lake. Yeah. No concrete plans. Sauna in the evening. Sounds amazing. Love it. Kayak season going. Cool. I wanted to, when we move into the new place, there's a small lake on the property. I don't know, let's say 100 meters, 200 meters from the house. It's not very big at all, but it's effectively big enough that you could, like, you could get in it. I think it's not necessarily deep enough that you can stand at the bottom, but maybe it's like 1.5 meters deep. You can't necessarily do a lot of swimming strokes, but you can. Maybe it's 10 by 10 meters or something like that. And I wanted to build a sauna next to it, so you could use it for like cold plunges. The thing is that there are some regulations in Denmark that mean that you're not allowed to make a permanent structure next to the lake per se. So what I'm thinking about doing is actually I'm gonna buy an old used, either a trailer or like an old like a, I don't know, camper, something like that, and then transform it into a mobile sauna, because then if somebody shows up from like the municipality, I can argue that I'm actually able to move it if I wanted to. I can raise it off the ground so the wheels don't dry out and things like that get old, completely crooked. But effectively, if I wanted to, I could then put it back on the ground and then move it if I needed to. So I'm planning to do that at some point. It's probably not gonna be till next year, but super stoked to both for the aspect of doing like a whole DIY trailer. I think that's actually gonna be super fun. Many Finns use the same trick. Yeah, I would love that. I think it will be so fun. I would say right now it's probably like a 60-40, and I'm actually more excited to build it right now than use it. But I'm sure that once it's up and done working, there's gonna be a lot of opportunities for enjoying it. So yeah, I do plan to do that at some point. I think it's gonna be so funny. It's good to have plans, I think, and that's one thing that I excel at. My wife and I excel at. I think there's always a shit ton of plans. I'm not saying everything always comes to fruition. That matters less, but I think it's always good to have something that you're working towards, regardless of what it is. It gives you a purpose. And there's nothing wrong with having one purpose that then gets replaced by another, but just the fact that you have something that catches your eye. A battle I'm losing, I see. Damn it. Oh well, I wasn't really paying enough attention anyway. Kind of punishing. I've gotten to that point right now in the game where I'm like 50-50 in terms of allocating brain capacity to actually looking forward to going and getting another cup of coffee. So it's sort of a half-assed contribution, and if we consider the fact that my contribution is always half, then we're down to even a quarter, so it's not looking good. So how did things go last night? Did you manage anything entertaining or something that was fruitful? Another rogue. I was UBRS, nice. Anything decent drop for somebody? My plan right now actually was to try to set up a possible event for Sunday evening, and now that I had to cancel on short notice yesterday, but plan for Sunday, and then see if we can maybe do okay. So I'm not paying enough attention. No, so yeah, but I do an event Sunday evening, and then try again with aiming for, as a minimum, like molten core trash. If we get enough signups, then let's maybe try just to clear the first boss as a minimum. So I'm hoping we could rally a few more people. Right now it does seem that Sunday was at least the day in the week that suited most people straight off the bat, so I figure we might as well give it a test. Sometimes you could yeah, yes. You did okay. So caster stuff, Straton did nice. I mean, guess any time we make any sort of progress and get some gear is always helpful. Yeah, it takes a long time, right? All of a sudden you really do feel the difference between having even a slow mount versus running. You can spend half the AV just running from one end to the other. But on the other hand, other alternative is you end up getting caught up in alliance continuously. You don't make any progress. So what's oh, nice intercept. That was good timing on that one, that's for sure. Just managed. I'm gonna get... Sweet. Oh well. Worthy sacrifice. You did fish for Jet, so I guess the game thought we wanted. Yeah, you can say that, I guess. Yeah. Jet is definitely a caster aficionado, right? He does favor his casters, that's for sure. But at the same time, you know, the drops he has are just so good that you really, as long as everybody doesn't have it, have every possible drop he has, you know, there's a point in continuously farming him, right? It's just there are so many beneficial items, so it does make sense. This is not going well, but not necessarily surprising. That was quick. Mm. He was abandoned. Gonna have a battle with this one. I'm not winning anyway, but shits and giggles. Anywho, how's it going? 50k to go. So we made 10k so far. In what? About just under an hour? 45 minutes maybe? That's significantly better than what it was yesterday, so guess we'll have to consider that as a small win in itself. Let's conclude that this, you know, I don't foresee us winning this one, but seems as if that's not really an issue anymore. There's no, let's be fair, there's no coordination at all either. Nobody's doing anything to try to coordinate anything, so it is a losing battle. You had a 1v1 encounter with War yesterday. Don't think you expect me to have so much OP. Pure lighted. That's nice. Awesome. I've been trying to grab whatever items I've come across that have, you know, sufficient stamina to start to have like you know, I will call it a mediocre set, but retaining my hit cap and at the same time just trying to stack a fair amount of stamina. It's a slight improvement over what I otherwise wear, so you know, it all helps. I won't proclaim it to be anything fancy, but just like whatever gets the jobs done. Whatever gets the job done, I figure, right? So this is going to be one of those days where we're just basically just fighting here. Out. Good fear. Yeah, exactly. Again, you know, it's nothing I have. It's not something I've been working very hard to improve either. So you know, it is as it is based on the amount of time and effort that have gone into it so far. So yeah. I am at least I'm in a place where, you know, I'm fine with it, right, for the time being. Maybe it'll get better. You know, so, I mean, you can say for by next week, after the reset, at least I'm rank 7. I can start off, you know, getting the first few items as well. So every little bit starts helping out. So yeah. See if I can manage to mount them, get out of there before I get... I ended up yesterday morning. I got into work early and you know, managed to get through the first few things that needed to be done, and then there was actually, I had a 30-minute time window in which I was in between a few things, and I wanted to start preparing for a molten core, because effectively, you know, it could have been the case that we did go into molten core yesterday. So I sort of was preparing a bit, and for curiosity, I started off asking ChatGPT to compile like a quick summarization of the most important tactics on the various bosses. And it's, you know, it still is it's entertaining and distressing that there are also things that, you know, it can continuously fail. So the first thing that really was noticeable yesterday was the fact that ChatGPT compiling a like a short summarization, what were the key responsibilities for the different type of roles, so what were the roles for tanks and for healers and DPS. That went fairly okay. The thing was, it forgot an entire boss. So it's like there are 10 bosses in Molten Core, and then it listed, you know, the relevant tactics for 9 of them. And then, you know, it's the funny sometimes I find is, you know, then you basically just you go, but you said there's 10 bosses. You're absolutely right, you know. So please account for the last one, the one that you forgot. Certainly. Yeah. Inconsistency. The thing is, you know, if you solely rely on it to deliver, and you don't necessarily have the means to have like critical thinking, if you don't necessarily know when you start off what metrics you're asking it to perform, the likelihood of it returning something that's, you know, inaccurate or in some manner incomplete is present. So, you know, there's still so much criticality you need to have when working with it for now to make sure that you get a result that sort of is complete. This is turning out to be a long one. Got a few seconds here. Wrong button. Come on, pet. Let's go. It's gotta be close. Yep. In more ways than one. So close. All right. I'm gonna queue up a cup of coffee real quick before we do the next one. So if you'll bear with me just for like 1 minute, then we should be good. Okay, I will be right back. I have returned, renewed on caffeine, or prepared for caffeine consumption, ready to kick ass and take names. Let's see how we fare. Has anybody been keeping track on how things are going with the Race to World First? $47. Sometimes, I was just about to say, sometimes it feels like, they're slower in popping, but oh well, let's go. Let's go. My hat's off to the fact that some of you have been, grinding significantly more. I'm not even sure. I think I know Cursed Flesh was rank 11. Not really sure how far some of the others have gotten, but my hat is off to all of you who have pushed even past rank 7. It's despite the fact that I often enjoy grinding. The funny thing is, I've, probably also one of my, I've never been keen on PvP in general. It really is. It's not my cup of tea. I don't feel particularly comfortable with it. It's, I think, combination of I've never bothered to invest a lot of time in learning how to counter various classes. I think I have a tendency to tunnel vision, and so one thing plus the other plus the third. PvP has never really been something that I've done extensively, and I'm not sure that's gonna change. But with that being said, this doesn't require a whole lot of attention. But I will say that my incentive to really push far is significantly hampered by the fact that I really don't care for it. So I think once we finish rank 7 this week, I really will be looking within myself to figure out if it's something I want to do more of. I'm not sure at all, but I gotta say I bow down to all of you who have chosen to do more. The amount of time invested is, bordering on killing me slowly on the inside. So, but of course, to each his own. There's always, I've always played with people in the past who also, some people are mostly into PvP, right? So it's not for everybody, and it is for some. Same. I can, I do remember having had guildmates in the past, like I said, who, didn't care one bit for anything related to PvE content. So, yeah, we can't conclude one way or the other. How is the sound volume today, actually? One thing is, I noticed the fact that I have a tendency sometimes to speak, fairly low, volume-wise, my output. And then also there was, I've been trying to make some different tweaks to the, a few tweaks to output volumes just to get it a bit higher. I would say the amount of sound settings that you have the opportunity to play around with is significant. It's yeah, you're right, Adams. I started working on that the other day as well. Yeah, yes. When you use the headset mic, it has a lot of background. Yeah, that could be OP. I think it's also it's an older headset, and I think the less directional, so it picks up on a lot of things. But I also did based on the feedback from the other night. I did go into the like master settings for the whole OBS thing and try to turn down the volume that was coming from from the whole Discord, not just the Discord, but sound, in-game sound as well, to turn that down. So hopefully the let's say the amount of chatter being picked up that relates to if I'm on Discord with somebody should be less, so that it doesn't drown out my own voice. Let's see. The hardest part is actually being able to test it accurately, because it's hard to be present on Twitch trying to stream it, and at the same time trying to pick it up on your own stream to hear the the sound coming back through. So yeah, it's gonna require a bit of time, but slowly but surely getting there. I came across a post on Reddit yesterday by chance from somebody who had the original game, and all the discs and all the different there was a shit ton of manuals, for how do you play the game, how do you install it. We're talking, this is something that came out so long ago that you bought a physical box that included description of minimum requirements and how you needed to install it, and troubleshooting. Everything was printed ahead of time, so there's 4 or 5 books of 50, 100 pages each, very small fine print, which goes over basically all the little details that you need. What I saw on Reddit was a guy who had taken the original disc set and framed it. Fairly simple, actually. I mean, it was just taking all 5 discs and putting them in a row, top to bottom, and then having the subsequent manuals next to it, and they're just small frame. But it was completely nostalgic and a better presentation. I still have my boxes as well. I showed them on Discord recently. It's more fun than having them hidden away somewhere. So I'm thinking that once we move and I get to the place where I actually have a new office space, I think I will do that as well, just for the hell of it, and then just take all 3 of the expansions and do something similar. I kind of like that idea. I think it's for game that I enjoy so much still, the means with which to honor that, celebrate that. I think that actually is a super cool initiative. So shout out to random guy online who gave me a good idea, inspired me at least. So. Ouch, okay. I actually underestimated those last string of hits. I figured I could actually make it there on time. Such was not the case. Life is tough. Life is tough, people. You heard it here first. Let's say, aside from the fact that the paladin is well, okay. Should have expected, right? There was running the AV on Wednesday. There was we were basically ready to pull Vandar, and I was kiting the mobs on the left side, and just as I exit the building and run towards the graveyard, there was a rogue in stealth from the Alliance who, you know, jumped me and got the better of me. We end up wiping on the specific pull attempt, so we reset and do it again, and I try to emphasize in the raid chat, you know, guys, you're gonna have to be there to keep me protected. And we get ready, go again. Same thing happens. It ended up happening 3 times in a row. Nobody was there to do anything. I was like, come on. That was a long day. I figure it won't be the last time, but still. Daihatsu. Okay, that's kind of funny. I like that. There's also one of the paladin we just engaged with now, Prince Albert. I don't know about you all, but in Denmark, Prince Albert is also the name of a piercing that you get through the head of your penis. So there it goes again. Come here, you dumb animal. Hmm. What AV game number is that in terms of the game in its entirety? So number 3. Yeah, yeah. It was number 3. Ba-da. Come on. Another one of these games where you just end up finding middle for, forever. I'm looking forward to oh, damn it. I didn't manage on time. Oh, they pulled Drek. Ah, come on. Why was my okay. So much love. The love of the guild is enormous. That's a good thing, right? There's the once we get the achievements in is it Wrath it shows? Yeah. Is it Wrath? I can't remember if achievements come out in Wrath. They don't come out on TBC, do they? No. But there's, one of the PvP ones is Share the Love. How are we looking? 45 to go. Yeah, that's fine. I was just about to say. Yeah, I think it's Wrath as well, as far as I remember. I don't remember it being something I really paid a lot of attention to in TBC before, at least, so. Okay, we'll just queue it. People will have to jump in later. Yeah. We're getting there slowly but surely. And also I figure, getting the AV over and done with means that I can spend the rest of this reset focusing on something else, which is probably going to be Onyxia Attunement amongst others. So, and we also need to get started on the Aqual Quintessence for the summoning of the whole MC thing. So lots to do, places to go, people to see, not enough time. There we go. You're looking good, my man. You are looking good. Nice. They came off nice, huh? Yeah. And the rings, yeah. You're looking sweet. The chase continues. The grind continues. How goes with you, Adams? Is the hunter the main focus right now, or is it basically that you are, are you basically assessing from day to day what you really feel like, or is it more a case of, okay, this guy's gonna be accumulating some rested XP now, so I'll jump on something else? I mean, although I do recognize and appreciate a lot of alts, at the same time, I also at some point on, I feel like I get sufficiently, let's say, engaged on one character that I really want to see it through, and at the same time, I think I would have a hard time. I appreciate the fact that you are able to, not necessarily get one character to max level. I think that's probably where I see my biggest challenge, is sort of refraining from having one character. Let's not even trying to talk in the sense of like main character or whatnot, but my lack of inability to have something that I would focus more, at least in, for one period of time or another. So all right. Let's go. Pew, pew, pew. our ability to execute stacking is a bit lacking. No pun intended. Alrighty. Maybe I can manage to. Poor guy. Oh. Able to squeeze my fat ass around the corner. Okay. There was nobody else here. Or at least not enough people. he doesn't move. Too close. Losing battle. Oh, oh. Oh, well. Time to go. And then they all show up. Come on! Scam on. That's an unfortunate character name, isn't it? I mean, kind of gives a wrong impression in my opinion. Do-do-do-do. Alrighty. Timing was off yet again. Come on, see if I can manage to successfully get far enough away to. Oh well. Just checking something real quick. That's a big incursion coming. I'm gonna politely see if I can make my way around. not gonna make it. Guess we can always chase each other around all day, right? Just like he's going for me and oh well. Oops. This one should be just about done. Alliance are almost finished, I think. Speak of the devil or whatever, not sure. Not an impressive game, but go. Well, at least at least they're popping for now. Let's see what this was. We go again. 42,300 to go. Little by little. Step by step. Not the song. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I don't know what it is, but these past few days I've slept, but I have feel like I've slept horribly, Just waking up so many times throughout the night, just doesn't feel like you got a good night's rest. It doesn't always take that much. I feel like, there was once upon a time where you could go, I don't know, days on end basically without needing sleep, it felt like, and all of a sudden now it's the whole if you don't get some decent amount of good sleep, then you're just paying for it big time. And there's only so much coffee can do. The first few passes I made through here, I wasn't paying attention. When we started the whole AV grind, I kept thinking this was somebody, like a player. I wasn't at all really looking. I thought it was a player who's always just, camping the flag point, basically. And then after a few passes, I was like, how, inattentive as I had been, like, how is this guy always here? And then I sort of realized, okay, there's a reason for that. And it's just me who's not at all been giving any thought to what's happening in front of me. See them all running by right on the other side. We can trade places. There's a party going on. Everybody's invited. Bring your friends. Let's go. Go, go, go. Good execution, at least. Effective. Onwards to the next one. Volbeater. Again, another name I can appreciate. Some people have quite a bit more imagination in terms of like good names, fun names than I do. There's a lot of opportunity to have various degrees of like pun and things. Gotta appreciate the ones who put in the effort, or for whom it comes naturally. Matters less, but yeah. No, Totella, why did you die? Why did you die? Did you get an NPC aggro? I hate clipping my aim shot by like half a second by PvPing. Yeah, okay, fair enough. To think that you would succumb to PvPing in an AV game, you know. What is the world coming to? Stuck inside the animation of another hunter. First warrior and then mage showed, and finally another hunter joined the party. Okay, yeah, okay, so you know, it just goes to show how much of a threat you are, right? They feel that 2 isn't even enough to comfortably take you down, so it's props to you for being a tough dude. They see the amount of HP you have and just figure, wait for another one. There was more than just you. Yeah, you don't have to say that. You know, that doesn't have to be part of the conversation. You know, just you can take credit. Just be like, you know, I'm so bad in a good way. It's about presenting yourself at the best possible angle, right? And there's no need to talk about all the details. All right. Okay. How's it looking? 40,000 to go. 70 done for the week. You know, at least you've reached that point where you're more than halfway. Yeah, still at it. Yeah, you know, you can say with the 40k to go. What has it been today? Oh well, so I was at 50. We made 20 so far. Been at it since 8:30. So we've been at it roughly 2 hours. Made 20k, need 40. So that would basically mean that there's 4 hours more, right? If the statistic holds up. So let's see. I'm not sure that I'm necessarily going to finish it all today. I will, you know, it becomes a bit tedious, right? So I figure maybe do another hour or two. Then I probably will have to jump off stream. I do have a couple of video sessions, work related, later today, and then maybe if some more people get online later, there's room for a dungeon of some kind. Let's see. Come on. Okay, we can always just pull early, as is most often the case. Here we go. Seeing a lot of people just AFK and wonder how much armor that produces compared to... Yeah. Good question. I have no idea. But, you know, I'm sure that there's a lot of people who are in a situation where it's easy to jump in the game, you know, and then do something else until it's done. And then it matters less how much time it takes because you're doing something else anyways. I can imagine that that can easily be something. You know, it's just you don't lose anything by doing it in that manner, right? Unfortunately. Spent 75% of the time waiting for the graveyard cap. Yeah. Closing in on Revered. Was like 5 seconds away from rest. Sucks. But you know, it can surprise me that it's a thing, in the sense of, you know, just you jumping on just to then not really be involved in it. But yeah, I'm sure that there's a lot of cases in which, you know, this whole thing about accumulating honor slowly without having to invest in it, you know, it's just a thing, right? It's just a thing. For better or worse, or well, probably not for better actually, but still. $38,462. I would say we're going places, but it really doesn't feel like we are. Not at the moment, right? Chipping away maybe is more accurate. Chipping away slowly but surely. Yeah, yeah, you're right, Sotella. There's not a single druid. I mean, we have a total of what? 3 healers, it looks like. So even that is just saying a lot in terms of likelihood of this being a success. Yep. A lot of AFK players, it seems. We'll end up in a situation where there's 40 people AFKing on each team, right? Standing around spawn point and just waiting it out. Or maybe there's going to be like one dude who's actually active. So you could basically single-handedly, I mean, you can't even win, no, but just one guy putting in the effort, contributing whatever amount of honor kills as possible, while everybody else is just AFK somewhere. Some of the one of the private servers I played on, which of course was Wrath content, there were, you know, being a private server, there's no, you know, you don't pay a subscription, so there's a good business case for you. There was several people who were multi-boxing, you know, 40 accounts, which was when you go into a BG, when you're running Winter Spring, it was at that time, and you have a guy who was trying to run 40 accounts at the same time, was insane. You know, if you get under the attention of his eye, then you're done. Then they limited it. I think they limited in PvP at some point, so that the cap for multi-boxing in Battlegrounds was 5. But you can still do it for PvE. So if you did like raids and dungeons, you could basically, you know, do it solo. But even just like 5, if you get the attention of like a 5-man multi-boxer who's, you know, running 5 druids or something, when you then get 5 moonfires at the same time, that still, you know, will tear through the majority of your health every time. So it was not fun. One of the things that, you know, like a low practical thing, one of the things that I appreciate as the phases progress is that the characters actually start to look different to a wider extent. Right now, majority of us come off looking the same because everybody either ends up with the same pre-biz gear, or, you know, the amount of variation is so small. Everybody looks the same. Your character looks so goofy right now wearing pre-biz. Yeah. What you gonna do? I mean, I think if I put on, it's not that I feel sexy in any way. Hoy. I think there's one of the things that was appealing, especially as we, you know, progress, is just the whole you get some of the, you know, the armor that starts to look a bit more impressive. You get some of the weapons that start, you know, getting a significant size. You come off seeming just as a whole more impressive than we do right now. But I guess you can say there's like a visual progression in that sense, which has its appeal. You feel, maybe looking at yourself, you feel some degree of, okay, you know, there's something happening also visually, not just in the terms of what you see on your gear, but also sort of the appearance in itself. Which you know, it might be that there's a deeper level to that as well. Just that, okay, you know, something's happening here, and I can see it. I can see that something's going on. The shoulders are starting to get bulky, or, you know, the colors are starting to, you know, let's say align, starting to unify, something like that. So maybe there's a whole consideration in that sense. Are we going? Come on. I like the fact that they always just, you know, write Kaido's pull when ready. The problem is if nobody really coordinates it, it's a shit show in terms of okay, he was quick all of a sudden. What the hell happened there? No, I didn't manage. Timing was off. Timing was off. It's looking to be a sunny day outside. It's actually, you know, it's a surprisingly all of a sudden today it's warm enough that the the temperature swing between night and day was so significant that it's, you know, completely foggy. Okay, so we failed at 400 HP on Vandar. Yep. You heard it here first, folks. The grievance is real. You know, that's 1 tick 1.1. Guess I can stand around here. There's the whole... I will admit that there are a lot of things that I don't understand in so many aspects of life, that's for sure. But you have an alliance rogue stealthed who saps somebody passing by. And then that's it. I mean, yes, of course it's a spot where there's a high probability of more Horde players showing up, so you might be cautious about wanting to actually open up. At the same time, you know, if you have any situational awareness, you identify ahead of time whether it makes sense to sap this person. You know, is there another Horde player coming? Yes, no. If not, then you maybe open up. If there is, the point I'm getting at, why bother? Why bother with the sap? I don't get it. I mean, the only purpose potentially is that you then reapply another sap so that you end up in a situation where every other Horde player has run by you, right? Yeah. I don't know. Gotta love when there's 3 ally rogues waiting to wipe the catters. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I had one of those sessions on Wednesday where it was basically just the one, but it was on multiple occasions. And the thing about it was that he just kept happening. Why am I missing so much? Wow. I mean, what is my skill? Okay, my skill is still lacking, so it does make sense. 235. It was kind of. It's also one of the things on my to-do list at some point. Finish leveling up your weapon skills just for the hell of it. Just to know that you don't find yourself in a situation where you really could use something landing and then you don't have the ability. What was he said is that were, oh yeah, over there, yeah. Hmm. We're going. Let's go. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He went the sneaky way around. Tricky little hobbitses. Not sure why it dropped off there. Oops. Seems we have the attention of all of them. That's a wipe. Unsuccessful attempt, I think. Okay, they're still going. That's impressive. I did not expect that. Although you can, gonna have to wonder if it's probable. Nope. 50-50 chance he goes left or right, and then he just, you know, at the last second sort of changes direction. I ended up calling the bank last week and asking them if we could lock the interest rate for the coming mortgage that we needed. The current rate was very, very good, all things considered. It was nearly the, let's say, the best that it could be given current situations. The thing is that there's like there's a conversion rate on the mortgage, so that if you have to borrow money, let's say you have to borrow $1 million then the conversion rate is some sort of percentage indicator between 90 and 100. So the closer you are to 100, it means that the more spot on the amount of money you need to borrow is, in the sense that if you need to borrow a million, but the conversion rate at the moment is only 90%, for example, it basically means that when you borrow a million, you only get 900,000, straight face value. So all of a sudden you need to borrow more than 1 million if that's what you actually need. And so right now the conversion rate that was present for the 4% mortgage that we had in scope was at the conversion was at 99%. So that was fairly good. So I called the bank and asked them to just you can get like a pre-deal in which you pay a small fee, but then you basically secure the specific conversion percentage rate ahead of time. So I did that last week when it was at 99%. And then the following 3 days, it actually climbed up a little bit. So I think it was, at one point, it was up to 99.4. But just looking now, it's down to just under 97 because of the recent turmoil based on the whole US thing. So the timing was good right now, at least in terms of that. So I'm happy with that. So I'm not paying extra to finance the mortgage. Looks as if this is another wipe fest. Let's see again. Let's hope I can make it there in time. I don't expect we will make it before we bite the bullet. We got it. Not bad. Not bad at all. I did not expect that. Yeah. Okay, let's I'll leave queue for a second. We can use another coffee as well, and then we can re-queue after. Almost revered. That's nice. What does this look like? 34.8 to go. Okay. I'm gonna grab a coffee as well right while Sutella's doing it. We'll be right back. Continue. And we are back. All right, I'm ready when you are, so tell them. Let's see if I can find the. There we go. Yep. Yep. I'll just figure out if anybody else is interested. I need to do that one as well. Okay, I'll just queue us. Come on already. What is going on here? It feels like all of a sudden the interface with the NPC was botching up. Just gonna try to reload real quick, see if it works out. Come on. Wow. Okay. There's something else going on right now since it's this slow. Okay. Let's see if it works. Wow. Wow. I wonder what that was all about. Yeah. I expect. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's go. At least we have a fair amount of actual priests starting to pop on in the set. No, representing the guild. Twice in a row, as I've basically been moving my mouse towards wanting to see what the timer was on how long we'd been in queue, it popped. So maybe I just need to do that quicker, you know? Basically just start off by doing that, or have the intention of doing that, and it will pop quicker in itself. Or at least I can naively think that I actually have some sort of impact on that. Has anybody here another day of making friends with Greg while I work? Yeah, Shaft. Has any what I was about to say before? Has anybody here played on SOD? At some point, I gotta say, I'm sure that We've already concluded on more than one occasion that I'm an old grumpy man set in my ways, and I still think that holds true. The thing is that I recognize the concept of SOD. You know that they're sort of testing some different things out, but I don't like it. You know, I appreciate the fact that they're trying out different things and look into, you know, do whatever possible variations, but it's, I don't know, it just feels off to me. I mean, I recognize the fact that there's some of the, you know, early to mid level dungeons that were super cool and entertaining, like in things like SFK and BFD, stuff like that, you know, and the fact that SOD introduced them as intermediate raids, right, for the specific phase they were in, at least means that there's ample opportunity for people to see it or visit it on more than one occasion, you know, maybe appreciate it more on some level, but I don't know, you end off so far off of the course of what I associate WoW with that, you know, it doesn't really appeal to me. And it might be based on something as simple as the fact that I appreciate what I know and what I have, and so when somebody all of a sudden starts changing something in that sense, it just doesn't fit well, you know. My flexibility when somebody tries to change the game that I just finally felt like I was comfortable with might be what's really going wrong here. But yeah. Gotta say, it's just not for me. But thankfully, that's why we have anniversary servers. That's why we're here, you know, having an awesome time. Could somebody grab this guy off of me? For fuck's sake. There we go, thank you. Yeah. No. I like what I know. But I mean I'm super stoked for everything that we have in waiting ahead of us, you know, both in terms of short term when we're talking the next phase for classic and the following phases. I think right now it looks as if, despite the fact that we have so many people and we have a lot of people who have intentions to raid, you know, it can look as if we're still in a spot where managing 30 plus people for MC is, you know, it's uphill right now. I mean, we're going to continue to try to recruit people for it, and you know, I think if we get to even that stage where we have, let's say 20 plus, at least we can start pugging the rest, just so we actually make some progression. But with that in mind, all of a sudden, once we get to that point where Soul Group comes out and we all of a sudden can get by with 20 people, you know, that's just gonna make it that much easier. So for us, that's you know, that's a positive thing, because we're not a hardcore guild that's looking to attract you know, people by the dozens, right? We want quality, not quantity. So things like raids in that sense are typically more challenging. That I've experienced it before as well. It's sort of that's the trade-off, and we'll figure that out. But all of a sudden, the introduction of ZG is just going to make it that much easier for us to do stuff recurringly. And as far as I remember, ZG all of a sudden is also on a 3-day reset timer, right? And then at some point we get AQ20 as well, another opportunity. I think that's super great. Am I the rogue is fucking gonna miss it? No, what I went, I think that's gonna be really beneficial for us with these 20-man accessible dungeons or raids all of a sudden. So I'm super excited for that. But then looking ahead, if we look long term with the introduction of TBC, where all of a sudden it's one 10-man raid, but everything else is all of a sudden only 25, then hopefully if we still have some degree of the 20-man, I don't want to use the term core, but if we have something along the lines of 20-man recurring presence throughout Classic, we're in a good spot to manage 25 for TBC. So I'm hopeful that we have a lot of good opportunities, coming our way. Okay, that guy was AFK, that's for sure. Cyber Sunders. Got somebody rocking the Rock Delar. Love it. There are very few things in the game that I would really love to have. You can say Rock Delar from MC is basically the only item from Classic that I really want. Then there is, let's say, there is Thoradal, the legendary bow, epic bow from TBC, but that's, last boss, last part of the content, basically, so far out of immediate reach, but still, that's one more. Those are like the two things on my wish list. I'd say apart from those two, it's actually one of the things that I had so much actual pleasure doing in Wrath was farming mounts. You know, it wasn't quite the thing compared to how retail is now, where people, you know, have, I don't know, let's say 500 mounts they can potentially farm. But in even just in Wrath, I had a lot of fun obtaining mounts, and it was basically the guild that I led back then, the raid guild I led. It was basically the only thing I sort of always had sort of conveyed was that I was okay with making every single raid I possibly could. I was okay with raid leading everything and setting up raids and all that. The only thing that I wanted as a trade was that I wanted the first mount to drop from every place that we went that I hadn't been before. That was the only thing I ever really expressed that I had any sort of interest into. And you can say, I think everybody I played with, nobody actually ever objected to it, which is kind of awesome. But they were like, you know, if that's the only thing that's actually really, you know, of interest to you, and you put in all the time and effort to support all of us in managing to, you know, do raids and set them up and all these things, and you know, that's okay with us. You know, I think that was a very nice gesture, in the sense that, you know, it was still a big deal, because a lot of the mounts were fairly low drop chance and things like that. So if you not being able to you know, to acquire them easily, and then they still being okay with giving me the first one was super cool. At least I did manage to get quite far, actually. I think I ended up let's say, I think there was roughly 160 mounts total throughout all of Wrath. And previous expansions, of course, right? So being able to go back and revisit mounts from Classic and from TBC, of course. I think there was, at that point in time, at the end of Wrath, 160 different ones available. And I ended up with I think 130 some ish by the time by the time I quit playing. So there was very few. I'm not quite sure I have it in me to do it again. You know, it was good. It was good fun in the sense of having having a purpose for being in the game, right? If you just end up running around in Dalaran, doing nothing but running around in Dalaran, then you know, what's the purpose? So I think that having that purpose, having something to give you purpose, is important. And I think that for me, that was mounts. You know, some people would have been continuously pushing BGs, or maybe just raiding continuously, looking to get Biskier for how many characters they could muster. For me, it was more in enjoying the things like farming achievements, and farming mounts. 31k to go. 31 and a half. But what are you doing? Ouch. Ouch. Dangerous place to be. Can I get on the ledge? Yeah, I can. Alrighty. Where did you come from? Lots of action on the bridge. Alrighty. Go, we dump it. I'm forgetting my coffee. That's so stupid. Gonna end up having cold coffee, which is closing on the worst. Yeah, if you don't have the talents in you don't have the talent points for it, it's just such a it will end up with me never getting away from here. I'm just gonna be stuck here instead every time somebody new shows up. Go, you dumb bit. You know, sometimes it's not really big. It's not a big issue for me to actually kill somebody. I sometimes I'm actually quite content just to give them a fright by chasing them consistently. You know, I don't know. It's the little joys in life, apparently. Just being a horrible, grievous person. Maybe it's sort of a okay. It's just a game, you know. I have to check my calendar real quick. Check how much time I have left before I need to jump off. Some work calls coming up shortly, so hopefully I can get by with a few work calls in which I don't necessarily have to have the camera on. In that sense, you know, I can maybe manage to squeeze in a bit of like semi AFK and AV at the same time, which would be nice just to, you know, continue the progress. I think I'll have to jump off once we finish this one. Gives me time to prepare. Ally wiped. Okay, well. Alliance wiped on Drek. At least that gives us the opportunity. Hmm. Hmm. They pulled Drek again and we're nowhere close, so it's in all likelihood it's still a done deal. Go, go, go! Yeah. Yeah, that's... Explosive trap is always good. Come on. Fucking Alliance Bear shows up as well. Jesus, fuck balls. To think that we end up in this same situation every single time. You know, I'm constantly surprised by the lack of, you know, simplistic defensive measures, even just, you know, this is still going. Go, Bet, go. Come on. We might just squeeze it out if we're lucky. Two. Holy moly. Awesome. Good timing. It gives me an opportunity to get ready for the next, for my work call, unfortunately. Thanks for the BG Sotella. Maybe we can do more later. I'll jump off now. And yeah, same for me. I'm going to have to leave you for now. Maybe I'll see you in game later. And then I might be... I'm thinking of us trying to do something Sunday night. I'll stream that if it happens. So let's see. But if nothing else, thank you for now. It's been a pleasure. 3 hours-ish. Take care. Have a great day if I don't see you. And maybe we'll talk later if I do see you.